Oh my goodness, my mic has been muted this whole time. Zach, what up? I, uh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. I can't believe it. Ugh. Can you guys hear me now? Hello, test, test. That's a massive L. Can y'all hear me? Oh my gosh, man! None of y'all asked if my mic was muted this morning. You guys couldn't hear me this whole morning. That's tough. You'd think after how many times I do that, like I would check, but I was just ripping down the GDP report, ripping on my watch list. No one was saying anything. All right, it's all right. So, um, GDP report initially was negative. Looks like it's starting to recover fairly well. Um, OCUL, something I'm interested in shorting, coming into contact with the 200 MA. It's a therapeutic stock. I don't usually get an opportunity to short these said stocks because usually they're hard to borrow or none to borrow. However, the intraday time frame actually does look fairly good. So I am hoping for it to break down to the 480, 475 mark short. However, if it does gap up like 510, I might consider reversing my order, which means I'll be long. So I can definitely play it on both sides. However, the level two looks fairly bullish. There's more buy orders currently than sell orders. Um, However, I am looking for it to get rejected by that 200 MA here. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I have a small short position. Um, just trying to get my feet wet. I'd like to continue shorting. And not that this should be a thesis to trading at all, but excuse me. Um, One thing that kills me is like you'll see what's this? Oh, it's the stock twits, right? Um, it's so comical if you literally just did the opposite of what the majority of people on that page said. So if that page was 100% bullish, usually it will correct to the short side. If everyone's 100% bearish, usually it'll end up going long. So once in a while, I like to hop on there and just see what the chatters about certain stocks because once in a while you can get some valuable information, but mainly it's just a bunch of people who are full porting, any random catalyst. Um, Yesterday was kind of like that. A boss, I did check it on StockTwits. Yes, I have that app. I don't, like I said, I don't go on it much. I just wanted to see what the sentiment was for if people were still bullish, and everyone, even after hours yesterday, was bearish on it. They said it was going to go back down to 7. You know, be an offering, which is true. There's potential for an offering or whatnot, but and then what happened? It ended up rallying, and now it looks like it'll probably be closer to $12 today. Um, that was a really good play. Unfortunately, I still ended that play with a loss because I leveraged more after hours 2 days ago, Wednesday, and then by the time it opened pre-market, it was already down to 850, so I did have to cut it just to stick to my game plan. But then I added back in at 925 or 950 or whatever, and then sold it at 1050 and 11. So I did make back most of my loss because the loss was indeed like 6,000, and I ended it with only a $700 loss. Mixed that with MOTS and made 1,700 on it. I had a not terrible day yesterday. It was all right. Problem was now reviewing that trade on ABOS is this is where I messed up and I know better for future reference. In fact, I'm gonna actually do it in this chart. Because you always want to do trade review and see how you could have traded it better. And I now know that could have been a massive winner had um, I done this. Now, yesterday, or sorry, Tuesday, when it made its first initial move from 5 to 10, it had a tight consolidation channel. However, there's two things. I knew, first of all, on the 4 hour time frame, the how do first before I go really in depth, can I change this to 4 hour? How do I change the time frame? There's no, it's not going to show me. Okay, I'll just screenshot it in the chat. So what I knew I should have done, and the worst part about it is I had that feeling that I should have done this even when I entered. Um, is wait for the first pullback, right? That was kind of the play I was looking for anyway. And I knew it was bound for a slight pullback, retracing back to that 9 EMA. Like $9. I didn't think it'd pull on back as far as 850, but at least probably $1 a share, and then prep for move higher. So if I simply just waited for a majority of my entry on that said pullback instead of being so bullish on it when just when there wasn't really a pullback yet, I wasn't giving myself a proper entry point. I was forcing the entry point. Not to mention, on that 4 hour time frame, all of the candles were pretty top heavy, right? So I knew that it was bound for at least some sort of a reversal. Now, watching it yesterday, as it curled off that 9 EMA, and as that first 4 hour candle turned green at market open, I instantly became bullish on it again, and then I purchased for a move higher. Now it's creating the second 5 minute pull or the second 4 hour pullback. I probably won't trade that. It just was, those of you who were trading it, was probably one of the hardest stocks to trade because it wouldn't break out until like the umpteenth retest. It was actually wild how many times the stock had to retest in order to break out. So, with that being said, I want to make sure as I continue and look for so the continued momentum play is one of the most profitable strategies I do have. It is one of the riskiest strategies I do have because I'm holding overnight. I'm risking, something to come out between 4 and 7 a.m. However, my most profitable trades ever of my top 10, I'm willing to bet at least half, if not more, came from the continued momentum play. So that is why I'm fairly bullish on it. Like I said, it is riskier, so usually my win rate isn't as good. And I need to fine tune that strategy. And in that fine tuning, I found waiting for the pullback. It's very common for a stock like that to pull back pre-market. And if I'm not risking enough per share, I'm going to get stopped out. I'm just going to. So that's just one thing that I think if I can force myself, and I'm taking less risk that way too. If I don't purchase after hours and hold overnight and then look to purchase pre-market. The only thing that sucks is I can't buy till 7 a.m. on Thinkorswim. I know I would like to fund another account just so I can trade these plays earlier, such as Moomoo or Trade Zero. The only unfortunate thing about it is like my most profitable one, such as DWAC, which I know is kind of a diamond in the rough, from 4 a.m. to 7 a.m., it had like a 50 to 100% jump. I made like 50K in that jump. Like I woke up to being up 50K, and then I closed at being up like 130K. So I just don't want to miss out on that opportunity, but I have to understand like that does not happen as much. As much as I'd like it to happen, it just doesn't happen. D Jones, what's the chance A boss will go to 12 today? Are you in the chat, D Jones? I don't want to describe this and then um, not have you in the chat and the live. Why am I using the 9 EMA? Because that's just one of the most popular indicators, and it's worked for me since started trading. And the reason why it works is I think because so many traders use it and they use it for validation, just like the View app and just like the 200 MA. Because more traders use it, more eyes are going to be trading it based off of that indicator. So if I wanted to use the 13 EMA, it's not going to work out as much in my favor as I'd like, just because um, no trader uses it. That's like, why would you use the 7 minute time frame? Like, this is a good 7 minute time frame setup. No trader is going to trade no profitable traders using the 7 minute time frame. I can promise you that. And the reason I say that is because when there's a stock that looks good on multiple time frames or looks good off of multiple indicators, it's just going to show more buying pressure. Um, so that's why I use these set indicators, because a lot of traders use them and a lot of traders stick to them. If that makes sense. So, for example, I'm more bullish on a stock if it looks good on the 1 minute and the 5 minute time frame, because that's very common within the trading community using the 1 and the 5 minute. Would you consider AIMD a bullish flag? Let me look. So I actually don't mind it. Pre-market setup doesn't look bad. 6 month setup isn't the best. Okay, so back to what I was saying, D Jones. So we don't have like a crystal ball, right? That can say like what are the odds of the stock hitting this price target. All we can do is simply trade the reaction given the chart that we do have. Now the chart still looks fairly bullish. And if it breaks the pre-market high of 1135, I think there's a good chance you'll see it obviously break 1150 and then attempt for a move up to 12. However, I wouldn't simply buy right now just because there's a 73% chance it's going to hit 12 or whatever. So if you are trading it, if you want me to create a trading plan with you on a boss, I still wouldn't recommend trading because I think it's going to be a harder one to trade for some beginner traders. Is I would wait to see it break that 1125 mark, and then I'd start buying for push up to 1135, adding at the pre-market high. I call it 1135, right? Because that's the high of pre-market. Well, I guess post-market, and then look to sell over 1150, 1175, and then 12. Make sense? So TOS lets you buy 130 before market open, or you're in a different time frame or time zone must be, or is that like an hour and 30 before market open? Is that what you're saying, Salty? Okay. Yeah, it lets me buy 7 a.m. So 2.5 hours before market open, which is okay compared to some other trading platforms. Some only allow 2, some allow 1 hour, some don't even allow any pre-market trading. However, like more advanced trading lets you buy 5.5 hours before market open. I might have to cut my OCUL short. It looks fairly bullish. I'd like to reverse my order, but I think it's in my best interest to wait till market open, given the fact that that 200 MA is really riding on it right now. But there's been solid buy orders pre-market on this one all morning. I have a small short order. I might just hold it into market open, honestly. It's only 1,000 shares. Unless it does continue much higher right here, then I probably should cut it. In a recession, even with mortgage rates near 20-year high, according to this investor. Um, I'm just trying to read what came out this morning. A boss, I don't think I want to trade it at market open. Honestly, I just think um, it is a really hard one to trade. It fakes out a lot. It'll climb 20, 30 cents a share in 20 minutes and give it back in literally 10 seconds. Um, the order book is so thin on it. One big buy or sell order can just make it skyrocket or tank. So buying for these breakouts are so incredibly hard. Yesterday, it was comical. I actually saved a picture of it because I've never seen a stock in one single day test a resistance line so many times and not break. I mean, it eventually did break, but after I think I counted 22 times it tested before it broke. It was 950. The 950 area on the 1 minute time frame, of course. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Comes back up, test. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Almost, yeah, oh, Kim's back, yeah, like 30 times, over 30 times. That's wild. Have you ever messed with options? Michael, I haven't. I do, in my opinion, good enough. Sorry, A boss just had to print a nasty candle. Momentum trading, and that's just kind of I enjoy momentum trading. I think it's easier to learn. I think it's easier to be more consistent at momentum trading. Um, so no, I have never done an option. However, I'm someone who always wants to progress as a trader. Right? I talked about it yesterday in our live stream. I want to start increasing my position size because I am very comfortable trading in this cold market right now. So, will I ever do options? I don't want to say I'll never do an option ever in my life. But I also, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't foresee myself trading options. Definitely not professionally. Maybe I'll do it like in a year or two, just to say. I think it's good for traders who learn all forms of trading. Um, just see what they're best at. I personally think I'm best at momentum trading, but I can't say that for certain because I've never done options trading. However, from the students I've taught, I've never met someone who said options trading is easier than momentum trading. In fact, like our biggest selling point within profit chasers is guys lose so much money trading options, and then they come here and like, wow, this is a lot easier to be consistent. I could still make awesome gains, and this is I can see myself making a living off of this easier than options trading. But I'm not here to hate on options. So AIMD is the only thing that I'm watching right now that I would probably day trade. Um, it has a really good pre-market setup, in my opinion. It is a little cheap. I haven't read the catalyst yet. The 6 month setup is not the worst, but it's also not really the best. Um, has a strong move to the upside, tight consolidation channel. At market open, I'd like to see it move higher. Now remember, because this is a cheaper stock, ad spots are a little bit different. The 225 breakout is obviously what I'd be looking for. But if I'm wanting to buy with anticipation of the break, 215 is also 210, 215. Every 10 cents and 5 cents often can even be psych resistance lines. So just because it's cheaper. Think about it. If you buy it two and your first price target is 225, before you even take any profit or consider it, it has to make at least a 10% gain to the upside. Now, putting that back into perspective on buying ABOS at the $10 stock, your first price target wouldn't be until 11, which is, in my opinion, a tad aggressive. What's my main strategy on the chart for momentum? Like my favorite momentum day trading strategy? A lot of these students love the break of the pre-market high. So we map the pre-market high of 223, and we buy roughly with anticipation of the break. If there's good buy volume, and then we're in it. We wait for the break of the pre-market high. It breaks. There's a surge of buying pressure. We put our buy orders just over the first psychological, or sell order just over the first psychological resistance line, 950, or in this case 250, and then 275 and 3. We sell as it goes up, partially selling out. We're going to teach you guys that. Look at the one year chart. Okay, I shall. Hmm. It sucks. If this was like the first initial play, like it just consolidated at 78 cents for a whole year and then it just blew up at 375, I would have loved to trade that. I trade this? Show trades, apply. I didn't. It didn't even really give me an opportunity. This stock closed at 74 cents a share and then opened at $3.75 a share. Wow. What? That's a One day I would just love to just wake up to a long term hold being up like 500%. I know it's not realistic, but a man can dream. But let me read the catalyst. Are trading higher after the company reported results from additional preclinical study of its low dose, blah blah, against Omicron. So this is a COVID thing. So it's a preclinical, right? Let's say preclinical trial. It's successful for Omicron variant. That is only if, I will still day trade it, right? Because if there's nothing else in the scanner, traders are going to want to trade something. And if this is the only thing that looks decent, then I will trade it, right? However, like, I know President Biden just said that, didn't he just say that COVID's no longer a national threat? So are these COVID stocks and COVID or vaccination stocks, are they going to fly? I don't think so. I could be wrong. Decent buyer at 201. Their AIMD, about 150,000 shares of buying at $2. Or sorry, 15,000 shares of buying, not 150. Sorry, but it was 150. I would have been buying. Or to 1 to 40 reverse split. Oh my gosh, that's tough. I've woken up to a reverse split before, unfortunately. Usually, if you wake up to a reverse split, you're holding the wrong stock because it means the stock performs a reverse split. Um, it does that to meet compliance with the Nasdaq, meaning no one wants to buy this crappy stock, and it keeps plummeting so much. It needs to force the price per share up in order to be publicly traded. Um, a stock has to be at least over $1 a share in order to meet compliance with the Nasdaq to stay listed. I CPT resumed. Oh, not interested. Let me go through my daily scan of other trader friends, see what they're trading. Um, Yeah, so for to my knowledge, like not that supply and demand zones are like a new thing by any means. However, I've heard them more often than I have in previous years. Um, to my knowledge, support resistance is more about the price action, eh, as far as like the resistance is at $12, and supply and demand zones generally it's a range like from 12 to 12.25. Yes, this the supply zone generally obviously is a support, but it's more talking about the buying pressure within that zone as opposed to a resistance line is like, okay, this is where it's struggling to break, if that makes sense. So yes and no. Like there is a difference between them. However, generally in like the world of trading, it doesn't make a massive difference. Like if I call this a support level or a supply zone, it's same thing, roughly. But usually support level is talking about a price, as a zone is like a range of, you know, where people buy. So, but like I said, I've like the supply and demand zones. I've heard it's kind of a newer thing from to my knowledge. LTIM, LITM, sorry, I just got tagged in. So 200 MA is at 250, which still means we can profit on it. Choppy stock, this is its second 5 minute pullback. I think I missed my entry on this one, to be honest with you. I think if I would have looked at it a little bit sooner, maybe closer to two, I would have traded this. But now I think I missed my entry. Make the morning watch list. AIMD is the only one that I kind of like. Okay, so starter would probably be on. I'm gonna get off LITM and go to AIMD. Hmm. My add on AIMD really depends on the buying pressure I notice. If at 215 I'm seeing massive buy orders and my level 2 is full of green orders, I'll buy. If it doesn't get that way till 220, I'll wait. So how much money am I trading with, Rusky? I usually trade with, on average, my position sizes are currently $30,000 to $50,000, with me splitting that up into two or three buy orders. However, in um, a hotter market, I'll go up to 100. I've at one point I was trading with 250K, 300K. Um, During, what was it, last spring. So it really depends on the market conditions. Right now, I've been kind of sizing down. However, I like to change that because I've been very consistent in the past few months trading with, 25 to 50,000, averaging over $1,000 a day. Um, so I'd like to increase that back up to closer to 80 to 100,000. Unfortunately, it is harder on small cap momentum stocks. I can't just start throwing $500,000 buy orders, just because it is harder to get your order filled, compared to large cap. But I like small cap better than large cap. It's more predictable, in my opinion. Alrighty, guys, give me a moment. Sorry, I'm just gonna be typing up the morning watch list. Um, AIMD, we're claiming VWAP, we're trying to. I'll trade it. I think I'll probably not trade with as much size on it, just given the fact that I think the catalyst is kind of weak, just to be honest with you. I know it's a successful preclinical trial, but COVID vaccine stocks aren't as hype as they were even a few months ago, just with Biden saying it's no longer a national threat. However, the daily chart or the intraday chart, such as the pre-market um, setup, I like a lot. So I definitely want to trade it. Can I repeat? What? Okay. Some of you guys already traded LITM. Um, hit 225. Yeah, I don't like it that much. So my ad spot for AIMD, I'll look for the break of 215 to 220 range. Um, if my level two is flashing, massively green buy orders, then I'm gonna size up 215, 220, maybe add the pre-market high or 225, and then look to sell 235, 250, 265 every 15-cent intervals. Um, Remember, because this is a cheaper stock, you want to have less aggressive price targets because the percent gain is higher on these cheaper stocks. How do you deal with taxes? I recommend finding someone who's a registered day trading like tax accountant. The problem with a lot of people to try to do it themselves and they get in a lot of trouble. It's very hard to find. However, I did find one. And I'm trying to have him be a resource for the PC team. So if you are a PC member, he'll be able to do your taxes. Hopefully, that's the goal. How long did it take you to get into day trading? I mean, I was automatically hooked into day trading, but to become profitable at it because I was more or less self-taught, it took me about 2.5 years, closer every bit of almost 3 years, to be honest. So because my I do like OCUL as well. Obviously, there's just no volume there. It is a higher float stock coming in at a whopping 74 million float, which doesn't mean I won't trade it. I would definitely still trade it if the volume was there. I'm just gonna hold my short shares in the open. I don't have a massive position, and if it breaks pre-market high, I'll cut it for a $200 loss. If it dumps at market open, I'll lock it in for a $200 to $500 gain. So really, I'm not. This isn't like a super high conviction trade for me. I just want to get my feet wet and better at shorting because I don't short as much as I'd like. Risky gamer, I do appreciate that. Make sure you. Huh. 1 second, sorry, I'm reading something. DM me in Discord, Rusty Gamer. I'll get. I'll let you apply to our academy. We are fully booked for like a whole week. But if you're really serious and want to get started, DM me in our Discord and I'll help you out. But Jason is the best. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I'm excited for the beginner course to drop for you accelerator students. I think you guys are going to eat it up. Again, the what we release initially is not going to be the end all be all final product. Some of you guys are newer with me, but our academy members know like I will continue to add value to the course every single day as much as I can. If I think I can do it better, I'm going to do it better. The initial course, my goal is to get it. I got to shoot most of it today and get it edited today by our editor. The goal of the course is to have most of it posted today, and then tomorrow I have some more, but mainly done by Monday for like the first round of beginner videos. And then in the coming weeks, we're gonna hear what you guys need because you guys are kind of unfortunately the test dummies in the new beginner course. That's why we're refunding you your first month if you complete the course. Um, but then we're going to ask for some feedback, in return of like what you else you'd like to learn, so we can beef up, the beginner course for new beginners. But RDL, that's gonna do it for the morning live stream. Unfortunately, I didn't take a day trade with y'all this morning. Unlike yesterday, MOTS hit the scanner. Next thing you know, I was up $2,000 on the day. So we didn't get that momentum today, but that's a Friday. Those of you who are also new, that's a quick tip. Fridays are wild card Fridays, meaning it's either completely dead or it's popping, And today I think it's gonna be more completely dead. Other than that, y'all, I'm gonna continue to trade with the Academy members. Crazy to think that applications are booked till next week. But other than that, I'll catch you in the trader chat in the Discord. Have an excellent day, guys. Peace.